Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel which is Software Testing with Ree. In today's video, we are going to cover some of the character functions in SQL, explained with examples. In this video, I'll walk you through the use of most useful string functions in SQL with simple examples that you can apply in your testing or database work. Let's get started. Now, why should we learn character functions? Well, in any real world database, we often deal with text like names, emails, or product codes. Character functions help us clean, format, and manipulate this kind of text easily. They are also very useful for validating data and preparing reports. As testers, we often need to check or transform string data, and character functions make that job much simpler and faster. Character functions are built in SQL functions that let us work with text data like char or varchar columns. We use them to change the case of the text, extract or replace parts of a string, or clean up spaces. These functions are very handy for clear, cleaner, more flexible SQL queries, and they are extremely useful in data validation and reporting. Here are some of the most commonly used character functions in SQL. We can change the text, calculate string length, extract parts of a text, remove extra spaces, replace values, or combine strings. In this video, we'll look at each of these with simple examples so you can see how you can apply them in your own SQL or SQL queries. Now, let's start with upper, lower, and INITCAP functions. These are used to change the case of text. Uppercase makes everything uppercase, lower converts to lowercase, and INITCAP capitalizes the first letter of each word. These functions are very useful for formatting output or when you need to compare text consistently. For example, when user input might vary in case. Here's an example. Suppose we have an employee table with some mixed case names. Using upper, lower, or INITCAP, we can easily convert the names into the format we need, whether it's all uppercase, all lowercase, or proper case. This is very helpful for consistent data display and testing. The length function returns the number of characters in a string. It counts everything, including spaces and special characters. This is very useful in testing. For example, to validate that phone numbers or product codes have the correct length, or to detect entries that are too short or too long. Here's an example with product names. Using the length function, we can see how many characters each product name contains. This helps when we need to check if the text meets length requirements or if any values are unexpectedly short or too long. The substring function lets us extract a portion of a string starting at a specific position and for a certain length. This is very useful when we need to pull out just part of the text, like the first few characters or a specific section of a product code or an email. Here's an example. Suppose we have a list of customer emails. Using substring function, we can extract the first 5 characters of each from each email. As you can see, the output shows the first portion of each string. This is really helpful when you need to extract specific part of text like prefix, code, or section of an email or product ID. The replace function is used to substitute part of a string with something else. It looks for all occurrences in the old text and replaces them with new text. For example, in this query, we are replacing pending with in progress in the order status. This is very useful when you need to clean data, update old labels, or fix formatting issues with your text data. Here's an example with an order table. We want to replace the word pending with in progress in the status column. The replace function does this for us. Notice that in pending approval, only pending is replaced. The rest of the text stays the same. This is really helpful when cleaning or updating data in your tables. The concat function lets us combine multiple strings into one. For example, you can merge a first name and last name to create a full name, or combine an address with a postal code. In this query, we are using concat to join first name and last name with a space in between. This is very useful for building readable outputs and formatted text fields. Here's an example. With a customer's table, we are using concat to combine first name and last name with a single full name into a single full name column with a space in between. This is very common use case. For example, when displaying full names in reports, forms, or test results. You can also combine multiple character functions in a single query. The function runs inside out, meaning the inner function is applied first. In this example, we are first using SUBSTRING to extract the first 10 characters from the customer email and then applying upper to convert those characters to uppercase. This is a common approach when you want to clean, format, or extract the standard and standardized text fields, especially useful for testing or comparison. Here's an example. We first use substring to extract first 10 characters of the customer email, then apply upper to convert those characters to uppercase. As you can see in the output table, we now get standardized uppercase version of the first part of each email. This is a great example of how one can or you can change character functions together for more advanced data cleaning or formatting, which is very useful in testing and reporting. As testers, we work a lot with string based data. Character functions help us validate that fields like name, emails, or phone numbers follow the expected format. We can also clean up data, remove extra spaces, or convert text to a consistent case for reliable comparisons. These functions are very helpful in ETL testing, test data preparation, and checking for data quality issues. To summarize, character functions are very powerful tools for working with string data. They help us clean, format, validate, and transform text fields, which is very useful in testing and reporting. You can even combine multiple functions to handle more complex cases. I recommend practicing the common functions we have covered today so you can confidently use them in your SQL queries. Thank you so much for watching this video on the character functions in SQL. If you found it helpful, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, which is Software Testing with Dri. I'll be bringing more easy to understand videos on SQL and software testing topics very soon. And please let me know in the comments below what topic you would like me to prepare next video on. Stay tuned and I'll see you in the next video.